Hello, my fellow limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How you doing on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? How is your day going? Mine is going amazing. Because I said so. Like you should say so. Okay? All right. So, basic bitch. If you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the drop box below. They're in the screens that just went by. I have 2 channel memberships. Exclusive Live Coaching. I go live with that group every single Tuesday around 9:30-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have the Hot Seat / group coaching, which I go live with them every single Friday morning at 9 a.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. The Hot Seat group coaching is the special one because if you join that one, you get access to both channel memberships. The Hot Seat group is exactly how it sounds. You get your ass in that hot seat. I am super strict on who gets in the hot seat, meaning anybody that's never been in it has priority over everyone else. Okay? I'm very, very strict on that. I literally write down who gets to go and who's been, right? If you are new here, how you doing? I'm Kimberly. I am, what does Sammy say? I'm your favorite. I'm your favorite sassy manifestation coach. I'm your favorite sassy manifestation coach. Sammy gets all the credit for that line because she said it first. Okay, so I'm your favorite sassy manifestation coach. Okay, and I would love for you to join me here. Give my video a like, help a bitch out, subscribe, come back and see me. Okay, so I can help you get your shit like I have my shit. Okay, let's jump right in. Not sure the title, but the subject of the day is bracing for impact. Bracing for impact. Are you doing that in your manifestation game? You're going to stop. You're going to stop doing it. What is it? Bracing for impact is literally how it sounds. Like pretend you're in a vehicle and you see yourself about to get into an accident and you put your hands up like you're bracing, expecting that impact. We don't want to brace for impact, and some of us do that. I'm going to give you an example of that. So, number one, if you are someone who is manifesting a specific person and you are in contact with this person and you are living in a place of fear that the 3D is going to show you something that you don't want to see. In other words, fearing that your specific person is going to tell you they want to break. Fearing that your specific person is going to cancel plans with you because they've already canceled plans with you. Fearing outcomes. That's what you're doing. Long story short, is you're fearing outcomes. Why is this a problem? Because you are choosing to be in a state or being the version of yourself that is not having your manifestation and more than likely going to manifest what you're bracing for. So we got to break that habit. Now, bracing for impact, I believe, is nothing more than something from our own conditioning. Conditioning fearing the worst, just like the old sayings that used to be out there. Like, when you would tell someone that you're going to go do something, for example, oh my God, so-and-so, he asked me out finally, and he asked me out for Saturday. Hopefully it all works out. This was mine. This was the thing I used to do, because when I was little, we crossed our fingers so it didn't get jinxed. So whatever we were talking about, whatever the plans were, whatever the thing was that you were sharing with someone, it didn't get jinxed. That it worked out okay. It's another way of saying, like, don't count your chickens before they hatch, right? Don't put all your eggs in all the one basket, or do something in case, just in case. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said, a lot of that is just habit. I still find myself doing that, but I really don't think it's getting jinxed. I really don't think that anymore. It's more of a habit. Or like knocking on wood. You're right. All these things, you're trying to stop something from happening, or you're worried about something happening. So you're doing these stupid little things to mean to you, okay, well, if I do that, then it won't happen. Then the bad thing won't happen. Right? So in other words, you're either doing things like that still, but if your intention is not, then don't panic, because like I said, I still do this out of habit, but I don't think anything's getting jinxed because I believe in manifestation, right? Okay. But you do know what I'm talking about when it comes to you are shitting yourself that something will manifest or something will show up in your bridge of incidents that you don't like, right? You don't like. You know what I'm talking about. Like, let's say it. How about when we're fearing that a third party is going to happen? How about when you've been manifesting a specific person, you've been sitting in shitfucker land. If you're new here, shitfucker land means sitting in shitty thoughts, sitting and swimming in the pools of shitty thoughts in shitfucker land. And so you've been doing that. You've been fearing the worst, expecting the worst, worrying about your person never choosing you or dumping you or whatever, and fearing that they're going to find someone else. You're thinking that, and then you realize you're thinking that, and now you're fearing that all your shitty thoughts are about to show up in your 3D. There's all different ways. I can give you all different examples, but you know what I'm saying. It is all about you sitting there fearing something popping up in that 3D. And why is this an issue? Other than the fact that, you're telling yourself you are the version of yourself that doesn't have what you want. But it's also you affirming it, like you bracing for impact. Listen, affirmations can be said out loud or in here, and you are affirming for that thing to happen without even meaning to, right? But fearing or bracing for impact is also tattletelling on yourself that you are not only attached to your 3D, and we'll get to that, but you are also allowing conditions or circumstances in the 3D to dictate to you whether you can have your full manifestation or not. So can you see why bracing for impact sucks tits? Now, don't get me wrong. We are human beings. It is natural to, like, especially if you're a mom or a dad, you worry about things happening to your kids. That's normal, right? It's normal. But at the same time, we still should be, now that we're aware of manifestation, consciously choosing to always say that your child is safe, right? Right? Isn't that the idea? Now, listen, in my videos, this is never about being perfect. We're never going to be perfect. We are human beings. We're going to have our moments, right? But the less we do something stupid, the better. Yeah? So we can get busy getting our shit. That's the whole point. So if you know that you are someone, and I'm going to give you another example. So like I've had coaching calls where someone is telling me like, oh my God, Kim, I've been sitting in shitty thoughts all week, worrying about my SP talking to another girl, because I saw him, like a picture. So now I'm worried that he's going to start talking to that girl. And, now what? Because I really don't want that to show up in the 3D, even though I know circumstances don't matter. I know they don't matter, but I don't want to have that happen. Then circumstances do matter to you, don't they? Yes, they do, or you wouldn't be worried about it. So when I said, hey, being attached to the 3D is never fucking helpful. It's never helpful. Yes, I am aware that we have to live and interact with our 3D, but being so attached to this 3D right now in front of us, being so attached to it, that we're letting whatever's showing up in it dictate to us who we are and what we can have. That is not being the version of ourselves that has our manifestation. And if you don't know what I mean when I'm saying be the version of yourself that has your manifestation, whatever you're doing for your manifestation game, if you're someone who likes to affirm, visualize, script, inner conversations, whatever, those techniques are helping you shift your state of consciousness, because we are always manifesting from our state of consciousness, which is just another way of saying we are always manifesting who we believe we are, who we really think to our core we are. Now, to our core though, right? When we snatch off this, meat suit of ours, we are consciousness. That's who we really are, right? We are choosing to be this concept of ourselves to have the human experience. But because we're getting to choose this concept of ourselves to have the human experience, we have access to all versions of ourselves. And there are infinite versions, infinite different selves you get to be. So if you know that you are someone that has been doing any of the things that I listed as some examples, we're gonna work on stopping that. Now, how can we stop bracing for impact? Well, number one, initially, it's like breaking a habit, because it kind of is a habit. You have probably been doing things like that your entire existence. I was like that too, right? I had to learn to break the habit. I had to learn how to become detached from my 3D, but yet still live and interact with it. All I mean by that is I have decided to embody a state, and this took a few times. It's not like I did it overnight, right? I wasn't perfect. You don't have to be either. I decided, or I embodied a state or a version of myself that knows that she is always safe and secure and will always get her manifestations. Because listen, we need to be authentic to what we are really thinking. We have to tell the truth. We have to be honest with ourselves. If you know that you're sitting back fearing that you're manifesting your specific person, but you're fearing little things like, oh my God, I saw them like somebody's picture. Now I'm fearing that's going to be a third party person now. And I'm afraid of that. Okay. Whoa. Have we addressed what our limiting beliefs are? Number one, if our mind went straight to that, we've got a limiting belief. Somewhere within us, we are either like fearing not being good enough, fear of abandonment, something's at play. But we want to get ourselves to the place of, number one, we need to remind ourselves who we are at our core. Like I already said in the video, we are consciousness, which is another way of saying God, source power, higher energy, just source, moonbeams, universe. If I didn't say that already. Whatever you believe in is what we are made of. Okay? And that's who we are at our core. So you want to remind yourself of that. And you want to remind yourself that what? The 3D is old news. The 3D is after effect. The 3D you are living right now is the past. It is past thinking or a past manifestation or reflection of who you were being. And I word it like that because I'm making the assumption that you are working on being a new version of yourself. Now, long story short, there's never anything to fear in our 3D. There's never anything to fear. And the quicker we learn to accept that, the less fear we're going to be in, the less fearful energy, fearful state we are going to be. If you aren't afraid of circumstances in the 3D, if you get yourself into the state of, I can feel safe and secure despite circumstances version of myself, you're going to become fucking titanium. You're going to be like a jet engine through manifestation. Your manifestations are going to be coming in like instant. And if not instant, pretty damn close, pretty rapid. It's the art of detachment. It's letting go of fear, realizing 3D is the past 3D is nothing to fear. It doesn't matter what's happening in the 3D, so long as you are deciding to be the version of yourself that has the manifestation. You are good. You are titanium. You are unstoppable. Nothing, or no one can get in the way of your manifestation. But when we're sitting in fear, bracing for impact, that is no different than affirming for the thing you're fearing and choosing to be a version of you that doesn't have it. So remind yourself, I am fucking consciousness. I'm God. God doesn't have flaws. God doesn't have limits. So what I'm seeing in that 3D is just an old shitty version of myself's manifestation. It's not permanent. It's not going to forever be here. I don't have to be afraid of it. Change is coming because that's who I am now. I refuse to be old self. And if I refuse to be my old version, and I know I'm choosing to be the version of myself that's getting what I want, I don't have to fear shit out here. I can let it go. I can let my 3D go. I can allow it to flow. I can allow it to flow. Now, if you are really struggling with the bracing for impact shit, for example, if you are someone manifesting a specific person and you are in contact with that person and you have made, schedules for dates on several occasions and they have canceled for every occasion, obviously, logically and literally, I understand why you might be expecting them to let you down. I understand. So we want to start working at letting that belief go. Because you remember, when you are manifesting a specific person, your beliefs about that person also matter. And they are also you deciding who you are. Meaning, when you are deciding who you believe you are, who you think you are, it includes what you think about your specific person. Let me say it like this. I am now the version of myself who is having all of her manifestations, and she is having a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with a man who always shows up for me, treats me like gold, is amazing to me, loves me, respects me, makes me happy. I am fulfilled with my person. But some of us are being the version of ourselves who are manifesting a specific person. You're deciding to be the version of yourself that has no limits around love and relationships. But you're also deciding to be a version of yourself that gets canceled on all the time. Do you see how it still ties to you? Do you still see how that ties to you? Or do you still see? No. Do you see how that ties to you still? So when I say who you believe you are, it means everything on who you're showing up as right now in your reality. That's who you believe you are. So how to get out of that habit. So say you've experienced that, and it's something you've experienced more than once. So you're bracing for SP to cancel on you again. You want to get in the habit of reassuring yourself. It's kind of like self-soothing in the moment, okay? So if a thought comes up that, let's just say you and SP already made plans. So you're planning to go out tomorrow night, and right now you're fearing that he's going to cancel again. Okay, in this moment, we're going to say, boop, yes, that's who I used to be. That's who I used to be. But I'm choosing right now to remember that I am God consciousness. I am limitless and I am flawless. And that is exactly what my specific person is made of, God consciousness. So I know what I want wants me, because they're both me, God consciousness, both, right? SPs are our direct reflection. He's showing up as a reflection for me. That's all it is. And I'm choosing to be the version of myself that can trust that he shows up for me, because that's who I am now. I'm the version of myself that fully expects people to show up for me, including my specific person. I can let that go. I can let that fear go. I can let it go. I don't have to be afraid anymore, because that's not who I am anymore. Even if it shows up in my 3D tomorrow, I know, okay, well, that's still just a manifestation of old self. That is not a cycle I'm staying on. I don't have to fear it, because I'm in the reality where he finally shows up for me and shows me his true self, because his true authentic self is the loving, the unconditional loving version of himself. I know that. I know that because we're all made from the same God consciousness. So I have nothing to fear. I can let this go and just reassure yourself. And again, listen, feelings are always valid. You're not wrong, right? By logical and literal standards, you're not wrong for thinking he's probably going to do it again. However, this is the land of delusion. This is where we outwit those parts of ourselves, right? We're outwitting, we're choosing to be a new version of self. You're outwitting your 3D. You're not letting the 3D control you. That's not manifesting. Getting controlled by our 3D is not manifesting. This is. This right here. I'm choosing to be the version of myself that can comfortably and confidently trust my specific person. Because I choose to. I choose to because I'm choosing to be this version of me who can trust. Because I know he shows up for me. I know he loves me. I know it because I've created the best version of him. I've done that. I know who I am. I'm fucking amazing. I'm fucking amazing. And I've done a great job. I've done a great job. So I don't have to fear this anymore. Boom. Boom. Okay. So on that note, no more bracing for impact. No more fearing stupid shit in the 3D. No more letting the 3D control you. And on that note, I'll see you tomorrow.